up, you guys? This is Rob from Guy Plays, and today on the Daily Grind, we're taking a look at the new infested Scythe and the infested Rapier from Operation Plaguestar. Now, I do want to give you guys just a little bit of a heads up. I actually went ahead and built both of these weapons as kind of like sets. I figured we got an infested grip and an infested strike, so I would go ahead and use those, and I tossed those both on a Varjeet 2 link because that's kind of like my go-to link these days. But now kind of looking at the stats and figuring out how everything works, there are different grips and there are different links that you could kind of play around with to make them work a bit better. But because of the fact that they are kind of like thematic from the event, I wanted to go ahead and pair them together. Now, the one thing that I did want to note, and you will be seeing it here, this is not a fashion frame mistake, but the energy effects from these infested Zaws actually do not change. They're all green. I'm sure that that's probably just some sort of like coding error on their part and something that they'll eventually fix, because you know we can't be mismatching here, DE. This is gonna make me crazy. Regardless, let's go ahead and jump into what we've created. And before we leave for the simulacrum, I did want to give you guys just a quick heads up that don't worry, I will be letting you know what grips and what links I think work best with these strikes, because the strikes themselves are pretty damn awesome. So starting things off with the Scythe, we are using the Plague Kiwar strike with the Plague Aquin grip, as well as the Varjeet 2 links. Now if you take a look over here, the links themselves have actually kind of push this into more of a critical weapon with a 25% critical chance, but if you look at the status, we're actually sitting at 18%. Now, that's mainly because of the fact that the strike itself has a built-in 4% status chance. Now, of course, you can kind of fudge around the numbers with the links in any way that you want, but the thing that I do want to stress to you guys is if you want to build the Scythe head, I would highly suggest using the Kawath grip, and that does kind of like fudge its attack speed a little bit. It puts it at a 0.98 something. It's almost a 1. It's almost the 1, but the damage spread on it is a little bit better, and that damage spread will actually make it comparable, if not slightly better. I actually want to say that it's slightly better than the Reaper Prime, and basically ends it making it the best Scythe currently available in game. So let's go ahead and take a look at that build. Alright, so we've got ourselves a Billy coming out here, and I think the weird thing for me in this is mainly finding the stance that worked for me, and number 2, kind of like getting the attack speed that works for me as well. I don't know if maybe I need to like switch out the links or whatnot, but something is just not necessarily jiving. And here's the issue, you know, before without Relentless Combination on, I was taking about 40 hits to take these things down. Of course, with Relentless Combination, it does kind of fool you a little bit because of all of the strikes that are kind of coming after it with the slash procs. So I'm still kind of, I don't know if I'm necessarily going to continue on with slash. I might go for something more balanced like the Jai 2, so that way we'll get just, I think we'll get 18% crits and we'll get about 22% status instead of the current spread that I currently have right now, or who knows, I might actually drop it all the way down to 14%, 14% crit, but as you can see, I don't necessarily love it. It's not my favorite at the very moment, and again, I can't pinpoint exactly what it is that's not jiving, if it's maybe that I need to swing it more over to status than I do with crit, but in this case, I don't know, or maybe it's just the stance, because I'll be honest with you, I've tried out Stalking Fan, and I've tried out Reaping Spiral, and both of them kind of perform the same to me. Stalking Fan, I think the most prolific combo from that one has you really jumping all over the place, and to be honest with you, it's hard to get a good gauge as to how many hits it's taking to take down an enemy. So me personally, I'm kind of meh on the Scythe, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not the fondest of its design either. People were saying that it looks more like Machete, that it looks kind of hammer-like. I don't know, like, or at least I said it looked hammer-like. I know that some people are not gonna agree with me, but it looks like a weird shaped hammer. I don't know, but as of right now, I'm going to be doing a little more playing before I finalize my actual weapon on it. but I'll let you know right now, definitely swap out the grip because the grip isn't really helping it when it comes down to the base damage. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Rapier, which I'm a little bit more excited about. Alright, so as you can see with the Rapier, we are using the Plague Kripath with the Plague Aquin, as well as the Varjeet Jai 2 links, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm happy with every single thing except for the grip again. With the last Scythe one, I was still kind of like weary about which way I wanted to take its supplemental stats, but as you can see, this thing has a 29% crit chance because the strike on this Rapier actually has an additional 4% critical chance, and the critical multiplier is 2.2. So I'm like, I'm really feeling this one. I was like, yeah, so 2.2 times crit multiplier at its base, it's saying, make me crit. Make me crit, baby, and I'm kind of liking that a lot. The only thing that I would actually go ahead and change out here is I would change out the grip. I would change it to the actual Kawath grip because it gives it a bit more base damage, and the sustained DPS throughout is going to be a little bit better. I think it's going to be about, actually it's going to be considerably better. I'm looking at it right now, and there's about a 10 point base difference when it comes down to the damage output. So definitely the Kawath is where you're going to want to go with this. Varjeet Jai 2, I'm definitely giving the thumbs up for that. So let's go ahead and take a look at the build. Alright, so this one was pretty gosh darn easy. I feel like this is the exact same Rapier build that I had on my previous Saw. So as you can see, it is a crit slash status hybrid build focusing on viral. You know, this isn't something that, you know, this isn't crazy because of the fact that Vulpine Mask has all of those slash procs built into it. Now, the last mod that we have here is because you got to think about this way. Vulpine Mask has built-in slashes, so you could use Relentless Combination in its place. However, me personally, I want to embrace all of that additional critical damage that we have in there with Organ Shatter. So this is what I'm feeling at the very moment. Let's take a look at how it performs. Alright, so as opposed to the Scythe, there was a lot less retakes when it came to the build and all of that kind of stuff. And that's mainly because this thing is absolutely insane. Now, I do want to say that I gimped it a little bit because I'm not using the appropriate combo. And the reason that I'm not using the appropriate combo here is mainly due to the fact that that combo results in a finisher at the end. And let's see if I can hit it. Oh, there you go. So it kind of gives this like false hope of exactly how this thing works. I'm like, listen, if you get a finisher or dash at the end, it's always really nice to go ahead and take down, you know, a new enemy. Like, you can dash to a new enemy, but legitimately when we're doing like single target hits, I kind of don't necessarily want to give a crazy different, you know, stance, so I have to kind of not use something that uses finishers. But as you can see there, this thing is absolutely savage. I even like cognizantly dropped it down to, you know, I made sure that the critical multiplier, or not the critical multiplier, the combo multiplier wasn't up, just so you can see how it performed. But holy shit, this thing absolutely stings, and I kind of love it. I'm like, oh, you're so good. You're so good. I feel like all of the Zaw Rapiers are just absolutely fantastic. Actually, just Rapiers in general. Every single Rapier that we had can be modded to be pretty gosh darn good. But let's go ahead and jump into this combo. Let me just make sure. Oh, I didn't land it. All right. I just want to show you. That I can land the finisher, and it is something that I've had to kind of like avoid using, because time after time, whenever I was testing this, I was like, you did the finisher again. That's not helping, Rob. You did the finisher again. But there, you can see all of the crazy slash procs that are going on, and it doesn't take that many hits to take them down. But I want to show off the combo, the crazy just hold down combo. And that's why I kind of like favored this one when I was playing the Scythe. The Scythe was a little bit more unruly. It's so good. It's so good. It looks so good. The Scythe was just a little bit more unruly because the combos on them were a little bit wonky, to be completely honest with you. But the Rapier combos are just so freaking good, and I absolutely love it. Oh, come on. Yes! There you go. That's the perfect execution of that. You have to dash straight into them, and then boom, you get that finisher, and it's just so satisfying. And I have to say that maybe that's exactly what was missing from the Scythe Saw, is that the combos just weren't as good. And I'm not saying that they weren't fun, because there's some really good ones. There's one that like kicks enemies into outer space in the Scythe ones that I like a lot. However, they're just not as effective as these Rapier ones, so I don't know. I'm a big fan of these ones. Again, the rapiers win out, especially with that. Oh, and I gotta show you one last thing. As you guys see, I actually put the arcane on the rapier because I wanted to see how it looked. Because I'd been using the Contagion Arcane on the dagger one for so long. But I actually wanted to throw that. It looks so freaking dope. It leaves like these freaking daggers, like not the daggers, but it leaves the rapier stems on the ground or embedded into the enemy. You guys don't even understand. And you can, one of the things that I want to point out too. Oh, I guess you can't see it here. You can't see it here because of the fact that, oh, you saw it right there. That's stealth finisher damage. Well, it's stealth damage, not stealth finisher damage, but it's the stealth multiplier, and I'm like, oh, it makes me so happy. So that about does it for now, you guys. You guys got to see how the Rapier and Scythe turned out. I actually think the Rapier looks kind of good. Again, it does suffer from that issue where it's not picking up the energy colors from the actual Warframe itself, which hurts my soul, but I'm sure that DE will end up fixing that at some point. I actually really like the gradient on the tip of it, so it goes from the dark to the light parts. Really big fan of that. The only thing that I do have to say is we will be taking a look at the pole arms next. I'm really excited to see how that goes, but as you can see, Rapiers win out against Scythes. Don't know what's the deal with that, but I'm going to leave that there with you. Let me know if you guys have found something on the Scythes that you're like, Rob, you should really check this out and try, because I am going to play around with a couple different variations before I kind of like finalize exactly what I want. However, I'm pretty gosh darn happy with the Rapier version. I'm going to swap out the handle, but aside from that, everything else is probably going to stay the same. So let me know what you guys think. Are you guys excited? Have you played around with these? And have you played around with the Exodias too? Because I had that on my last video and I absolutely loved it, and I'll probably use the other Exodia, you know, the ground slam Exodia on the pole arms, because I feel like that's a little thematic. We'll see how that goes. Regardless, that about does it for now, and as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.